Yeah, intro it, and then I'll like intro the intro. I'll
All right, for sure.
steer the shit, but you're really good at throwing it together.
Balls in your court.
I'm good at like grabbing. I'm good at like sketching, but I'm not good at being behind the wheel. I break too hard.
All right, what is good, everybody? It's your boy Sideshow along with Austin today. This is the Devil's Work podcast. It's a podcast about watching fucked up movies and then telling them back to you, so you ain't gotta watch them, but you should. Today we are actually doing a quickie on a very cool movie called Oddity that just came out by the director. Let me get the director name. Damian McCarthy. Just released July 19th, 2024. So I this is the director of Caveat as well.
Mhm.
Another Shudder original or
I want to
exclusive?
say it's an original.
I want to say it's original. But yeah, this was the Shudder original that dropped the same day. I want to say it dropped on streaming that as well, right? This was
See, I looked that up. I saw that. I'm
cinemas.
not seeing that. When I Googled it, it said it was dropping on like HBO Max in November and like Shudder and stuff.
Weird.
I don't know. I have no idea. I'd be
Huh.
shocked if they did because it's like IFC and they've been really like pumping shit out with like in a
Yeah,
violent nature. So it'd feel weird
exactly
to
what I was gonna
drop
say.
it the same day on streaming. At least like I would expect them to be like there's a paywall. Like you got to rent it or something like
Mm-hmm.
rent same day.
Well,
But I don't know.
they've done a pretty good job, I think, Shudder of like releasing the movies in theater, but
Hmm.
like it's usually a small run. Like Skinamarink was the same thing, where
Yeah.
it was only like 2 weeks originally, but then the word of mouth got like caught on fire, and then we were just like, all right, fuck it, we're gonna go for like a month, I think, or like a month and a half or some shit. But yeah, this was again. I think we'll get into how we really feel about this one, and I know I know we're reserving a lot, but overall, I think this was really a case of one of those like style over substance, and I don't
Oh
think
yeah.
it's not the worst case of that either. I don't think that that's the case, but obviously we'll get into how
It's
we think things could have been.
it's a case of a movie that should have been a 6 episode miniseries. That's what I think it
Interesting.
that's what
Okay.
I felt. It
I
felt
yeah, I
like
can weirdly I can actually really agree with that. Yeah.
it really felt like there was three different stories that he really wanted to get across in like an
Mhm.
hour and a half.
Yeah.
And man, no, like it just didn't work. He wanted that long legs like thriller, that like crime thriller murder mystery. He
Yeah.
wanted this supernatural element with like witches and these paganistic like
Mhm.
like cursed conjuring type of like objects, and then he
Yeah.
and then he tried to string those two together with this like
Like
I don't
third
even know.
subplot. Yeah.
It just
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it should have been like a Bly Manor situation where it's
Mhm.
just one season,
Feel,
eight to
I
ten
feel that. I
episodes,
feel that.
hour
Yeah,
each.
to be able to like flesh out those
Yeah.
ideas
I
that
felt
got
like
started. Yeah.
I felt like each of the subplots going on here could have been 3 1 hour episodes, get
Mm-hmm.
369, and it would have been great. But it was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
a lot, and it wasn't bad. But when you have to condense all that into such a
Yeah.
short runtime, it just felt very flat. It felt very like we
Yeah.
have 90 minutes. Let's just get like three scenes that are 15 minutes each of A shot, B shot exposition, and then
Mm-hmm.
put creepy shit in between.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I feel like
Yeah.
it was supposed to be a little more accessible than,
Yeah.
even Caveat was, which, you can understand. Again, like we had this conversation with Longlegs about that being his most accessible movie that he even talked
Hmm.
about.
But
And I think there was a lot of comparisons between the two.
I was gonna say, I'm glad you said that because I thought of long legs during
Mhm.
this movie,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm not, you notice our man isn't here today, our third wheel, if you will, our our main man, our guy, our boy, our fucking Ernest Hemingway in chief, the script man himself, the
Yep.
arbiter of all writing, Chad, and the skeptic of all things written, and I was in that theater,
Oh
and
man.
he's like giving me like script brain rot, where I'm so overcritical of writing now because of him, which isn't a bad thing. It's not an insult. It's just like another thing that I look at more that I never did,
Were
because I see,
you
ooh, pretty
gooning
colors.
in that theater?
I was script maxing real hard in that theater. But no, like I'm like you in the vein of like why we I think agree so much is I see I see a movie of nothing. I see that like Gaspar Noé movie where it's just
Mm.
talking, that like Lavoie.
Love.
No, not Love. It was like on set of a movie, and then there's like those two
Oh,
women.
yeah.
It's like Le Tricks of Vous or something. It was in
Yeah,
French.
yeah.
But like
Damn,
something
with
like that.
Lux Eterna. Lux Eterna.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
talk for like an hour and then that's it. But it
Yeah,
looks
it's
so
just
nice that I'm
stress the
like,
movie. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I feel
literally
like
what that
BoJack
is.
when he looks in the kaleidoscope and I'm like, ooh, pretty colors that my eyes could never perceive.
Yeah,
Like that's
exactly.
all I need. And
Yeah,
now I
yeah,
see this
yeah.
movie and I'm like, at least at 4 points, I was like audibly sighing in this theater with three other
Yeah,
people
I don't
out
think you
loud.
were alone though. I don't think
No,
I
no.
felt pretty similar like to some
It,
points of this movie for sure.
and I told you this reminded me of something. And I want to start this off by just saying what this reminded me of. This is the best red box original movie I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Like you see something and you're like, that's a
Yeah.
Hallmark ass movie, or that's a
Yeah,
Lifetime
for
movie.
sure.
That's
Yeah.
cyberbullying as fuck. But
Netflix
then,
has its own like vibe
yeah,
now too.
yeah,
Yeah,
like The
yeah.
Beekeeper feels like a Netflix original, or like
Yeah.
anything with Adam Sandler.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
this just feels like Redbox in a Kroger, and this is the main poster being promoted. And it's not a bad thing because it's like the best one of those. This is like the best you're gonna get from something out of a fucking vending machine.
Yeah, no, I mean, and
Yeah.
yeah, I could actually, that's pretty good. I would
It's
absolutely agree with that. I was
yeah,
trying to
it's
find a way. I was like, wait, do I actually need to defend that? No, I don't
because
think I
there's like
do.
movie theaters, there's fine kino, if you will, there's Can,
Yeah,
there's the neons, and
yeah,
then there's like streaming. Because
yeah.
occasionally you get like a Marriage Story, which I will defend as cringe as it is at times when you really look at it. And then you get like, like the last sustained blockbuster in like Columbus, Ohio, or wherever the fuck it is. And then
Yeah.
you get vending machine movies. You get vending machine movies and like a fucking giant eagle in Butler, Pittsburgh, where nothing bad ever happened before. I said Butler, Pittsburgh. I really butchered that joke. I really missed the mark on that joke.
God
I
damn it!
saved it. See
Stop.
what I did?
God damn it. Okay. Anyway,
No, but
yeah,
yes,
I
that's
do.
what it felt like.
I would agree with that point, and we will go into that more. But
Hmm.
I will say, for anybody looking for a good dinner movie, it's just a good
Yeah,
one to just throw on at dinner. We would recommend that. I mean, if this is available on Shudder right now, which I
yeah.
feel stupid for not fucking checking beforehand,
We
but
do
it's
our
a
due
Shudder
diligence
original.
here.
Yeah, exactly.
We really care about this project. I
Hey, fuck
promise.
you.
It's not just dick jokes and bad opinions. It's just
Yeah,
hard work
but
with
yeah, if
zero
you
preparation.
this one has been it's been getting a lot of buzz on the circuits though, like for like the festival circuits.
Yeah,
Like I know that for
yeah.
sure. Like so, it was on our radar and we checked it out. But I mean, right now I saw this in theaters. Down the street. I think
Yep.
Regal has it. AMC probably has it. Yeah,
Everywhere. Imagine
everywhere else.
AMC,
Yeah,
MJR.
everywhere is doing it right now. I would recommend going and watch this. It's a fun one. Go out.
It the trailers before the movie for my theater really gave me the vibe of what it was going to be, and I'm glad that it wasn't wrong because it was way too many trailers, as it always
Mhm.
is.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of them, but we got like three of the worst horror movies I've seen lately coming out. That Smile 2 trailer, man, I'll
Oh man,
defend the
I
first
still
Smile
haven't
movie in
seen it
some
yet, and
regard.
I'm glad, dude. I'm really not wanting to look forward to that,
I
man.
kind of like it.
I don't
Kinda.
know, man. Well, we'll save it. Who knows? We might do a fucking
Have
quick.
you
I don't
have you
know.
ever hung out with someone really toxic, didn't see him for a few years, worked on yourself, got really better in your sobriety and in your life, and then you meet up with them again and they haven't changed, and part of you is like, I miss this. That's what Smile felt like.
The thrill.
It's like I know we have to part ways again. You haven't really gotten better, but I kind of love this. That's what Smile felt like, but that's not the point. We got Smile. I got this new Holly Berry horror movie from like
Yeah, yeah,
the some I don't even
yeah,
Lionsgate.
yeah.
Fucking
Lionsgate.
Lionsgate is
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
And it just looked terrible. And then but I also got these really cool like the guy that made Max and Mary or Mary and Max, that stop
Oh
motion
yeah,
movie.
the
He
animated
has a
one.
new
Like,
movie coming
yeah,
out. Yeah.
yeah.
And then there was like this perfect mix of just schlock, slop trough,
I'll give
like
you that. Yeah.
garbage horror and then like
Hmm.
really high art. And if you just mush them together, you get
Yeah.
Oddity.
You get Oddity for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, with that said, go and check this one out.
Mhm.
Hopefully it's on Shudder at the time this drops. But if not, look around for it. Go catch it in the theater, like you said. Go check it
Last
out.
thing. Last
Oh, yeah.
thing. Really, I want to say for a precursor to this movie,
Hmm.
watch Caveat. Really do,
I
because
I will say
you
that too.
haven't
Yeah,
seen it.
I agree.
He's kind of trying to do a Mike
Oh,
Flanagan
I
with his
watched it.
movies.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
did see
Yeah,
Caveat.
yeah, yeah. I did. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
okay. All
So
right. I've been
yeah,
trying
so
not
I
to
could
spoil it.
be
You
so
saw
I could
like
be
the
like
all
better
right,
on.
we're gonna jump into it then.
Yeah,
Just go watch
yeah.
Caveat, and then
Go
he has
watch
a short
Caveat.
film that Joey showed me about an hour ago, 5 minutes long on YouTube, called
I think it was
How
Olin.
Olin Lost His Eye.
Yeah.
That is very much a influential part of this as well, but it's not connected. Same with Caveat. He's trying to do this like Mike Flanagan multiverse thing
The
that he
multiverse.
that
Yeah,
he's good at,
that's
and
exactly what
it's
I
just
thought.
like that done kind of poorly. But I like it. I
Mhm,
like how
mhm.
you can watch all these projects, and it does make sense that they would
He
all
has a
exist in the same
style about
universe.
him. He has
Yeah, he has
and
a
I will
continuity
say,
that I enjoy.
yeah, I will say
Yeah.
too, that's the thing, and I did enjoy it. And before we get into it, his attention to like the sets and the details of everything that he's been like the worlds that he's able to like put the audience into is fantastic. And I feel like that again, like that's where the style over substance comes
Yes.
into it, where it's like the style of this movie is fucking fantastic. It is
That's what
really
sold me
good.
with Caveat. It reminded me as soon as
Mhm.
I started watching it so much of Possum with that
Yeah,
grime.
yeah,
His
yeah.
set design
Yep.
is what got me. There'll be a lot of points in both of these movies where it feels
Hmm.
very like stagnating and like
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care what's going on, but it's the set design. He gets this
Keeps you in
filth
it.
that's
Yeah, yeah.
so
It's grimy.
grimy and
Yeah,
just sludgy, and you're just
yeah.
like, ugh. But it's lit so well. It's like
But
perfect,
that's
like
what I was talking about. That reminded me of Long Legs. Like that's where
yeah,
the
yeah,
the through line was for me. But yeah,
yeah.
go check it out. Like I said, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna spoil the shit out of it. But yeah, okay, let's just fucking get into it, man. Yeah, the hallways and like how those were lit and shit. That was fucking great,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I was just about to say, I'm glad that you brought this up first, because I was just about to say that grime and that filth, he
Hmm.
plays with it in this way where, do you know that painter that's like notorious because he just paints like solid red paintings? But
You
but
brought
the
him up
beauty behind
before.
it,
You brought him up
yeah,
before. You
his
said talk about the brush strokes, right?
yeah, it's so
Yeah.
beautiful
Hmm.
because it's the artistry that there is not a single brushstroke on there, and it pisses people off so much that there's been like people that bring box cutters and cut them in the galleries,
Crazy.
just destroy them because it's like garbage to them. But that's what he
Crazy.
does, where he gets this great lighting. He's so
Hmm.
good at lighting, and he gets
Hmm.
these solid, bold, like primary colors
Yeah.
that like wash the fucking scene, but they're
Hmm.
so dirty at the same time.
Yeah. A lot of like blues in the beginning, a lot of like, and then it's just contrasted with like stark yellows and reds and
Yeah.
stuff. Like it's really fucking cool how they use like the color palette for this movie is really well done. But yeah, that fucking intro. Oh my god! Like
That was the
when
best part of the movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. When that title card hit, I was like, I'm fucking in, baby. Like
Uh-huh.
I'm in it. Like I was so fucking hyped for it, and then it kind of just teetered
Yeah.
off from there.
And
But it was fucking solid opening, man.
that sold me too. That opening really linked to the trailer, where I saw this trailer in a theater. So it's the one time where I'm like, well, I'm already here. I'm stuck here. So I'm going to watch the trailers. I try
Mm-hmm.
not to, but I saw Caveat immediately. I'm like, I'm in. And the marketing was so good for this. And I give Longlegs credit on its marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's similar in that regard too, where the trailer really felt like it was going to be, it almost felt like a flip perspective. So we see in this movie how it opens with her locked in the house, or locking herself in the house, and the guy
Mm-hmm.
outside. The it tells you nothing really, and I got this vibe it was going to be like a nice spit on your grave, like revenge murder type of thing, where she goes out and she's like locking. I took it. I don't know if I just was really high in the theater. I think I saw it when we saw In a Violent Nature, and I told you about how that was. But it felt like she was going to lock these people in this room with whatever supernatural elements and just
Okay.
torture them for
Okay.
information. And then we
It's
get that
also a good
intro,
movie.
and then that flip happens, and then
Yeah.
2 minutes after the title card, the dialogue literally just says, "Oh, this is all going to happen at the end of the movie," and then it
Yeah,
does, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
everything in
yeah.
between is just the worst. You know, I keep seeing this is the thing. I saw on Google today. I was trying to avoid everything, but I was looking up movie times to buy a ticket,
Mhm.
and Jesus, all I was seesawing, all I was seeing was just like Oddity explained. Oddity, the
Yeah, yeah,
craziest
yeah.
twist
Yeah.
ending of all
For
time.
sure.
It
I
was all
was
about
like,
the
what?
ending. And I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck do you mean? Do you want to know what gave it away for me, Joey?
What's
The
that?
phone call. In the before I think the title card happens, she's on the phone with her husband, the
Uh,
doctor, and she says, "I love you," and he goes, "Love you." Immediately, I'm like,
oh,
"Oh,
they,
he's gonna
yeah.
do something to her.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
gonna do
yeah,
something to
yeah.
her." Like you could tell
It,
immediately, and then he gets a
yeah.
fucking girlfriend less than a year after his long-term wife is brutally murdered in his home that he
Yeah,
leads his girlfriend
it's
into. I'm like,
poor.
"Oh, he killed her,"
For sure.
and
It's like, and
it's so
then like
frustrating.
my whole thing with that, and then we can move on from that. But yeah, I my whole thing was that was his motivations were so fucking shallow. They
I
were
know,
so shallow. I was
I
like,
know.
what are you fucking talking about? I was like, why is that? What the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, and it had that issue with caveat too, which I'm not going to spoil, but there is almost a one-to-one parallel in the script, if you know what I
In
mean.
more than one ways though. There's a lot
It's
of
the
themes
same
that are
story
fucking
almost.
yeah, yeah.
Someone gets paid to do something, and
Mm-hmm.
then they're like, "Why'd you do it?" And he goes, "Moolah, baby."
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah,
he
yeah,
gets
yeah, yeah.
amnesia, and then
Yeah.
calamity ensues. And I'm like, "This is so dumb, but it looks so pretty."
I will say
It's
though, but beyond that though, I will say I liked Caveat probably just a little bit better, but I
yes,
feel like in terms of like movies that we would probably do for a full episode, Caveat has more substance to it to like parse out
yeah.
than this one does. Like this one was pretty fucking spoon fed like halfway through, if
it
not like most of the way through.
it reminded me. I didn't see the new Strangers Chapter 1. I know you did, but I
God,
saw the
I wish
trailer
I
of that. And this
fucking
movie
had it. I
this movie
fucking wish I
reminded
had
me
it.
of if that trailer was done in like a way to market to like film nerds. Like that movie was very clearly like the missus, I'm taking her out on a Friday. We're gonna go see Strangers Chapter 1. That
Yeah,
this movie felt
yeah,
like that type of movie, but marketed to like the Kino losers that
yeah.
just
Well,
yap on Twitter all
because
day.
and that's the thing too. I'll say then, and I that's where I will be kind to this film is the cinematography
Mm-hmm.
fucking slaps. The attention to all of the like the composition of all of these shots, like down the hallway, even when she's like going out. Like I love the tent that she's like sleeping in, and like how that's like
Mm-hmm.
lit in the room.
Mm-hmm.
That's always really well composed. Those shots are fucking great. I loved the fucking the suit or whatever the fuck that thing is, the like puppet or the dummy fucking thing, the wooden man that's in the fucking
Oh yeah,
box.
it's wood. It's made out of wood. It was carved
It
out of wood
looks
by
like
a witch.
skin. It looks like
Yeah,
skin, but yeah,
yeah.
for sure, it's definitely wood. But I loved the look of that thing, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
thing. The objects that the story is surrounding, and not even just this one, but like Caveat as well. The short films that he had too, all of them have these like great objects that are surrounding them that like kind of like the
Yes.
story's built on top of. And I know he talked about that in an interview that I saw with him that that he usually writes from the perspective of like I'm going to start with this object and then build a story around it.
And that's that you can really feel that because my favorite thing about this director in his projects are the iconography and like the
Hmm.
objects, like the rabbit in Caveat
Yeah, it's fun.
and the
Which
wooden
makes a
man in
little
this movie.
cameo in this one.
Yeah.
I love the little cameo on
And
the shelf. That was
I
great.
like that too though because she's a collector of
Hmm.
these oddities, these cursed
Yeah,
objects.
yeah.
It would make sense that, like I'm not going to say anything about Caveat because I would
But
like to cover
she
it one
ended
day.
up
But
with
yeah,
the
and same
thing.
with the
Yeah,
eye that
yeah.
Odin has in this movie. Like I imagine her just placing it right there next to
Oh,
it, and
okay, that makes
I
yeah. See, then there is like a
and
multiverse thing going
they
on.
put a bunch of emphasis on that monkey that clapping monkey, and
Yeah,
I feel like I would like to see his next film, like he's hinting at something there,
for sure. He
unless he
probably
has
is.
already done it and I haven't noticed.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know, but
I don't know.
that would be like a cool like teaser within a movie for his
Yeah,
next
it's fun. That's
project.
what I'm saying. That like
And
that's what
that's
I'm
what I
saying.
like about him.
Yeah, it's mostly like I was like, as much as I was like really disappointed with the story as soon as that flip happened, I was like, fuck man, like you were right there. You were right there. You had it. Like as much as I was disappointed, the style again, like we talked about in Long Legs, that's what kept me in it. It kept the environment was great. The use of one, well, maybe like two sets at the most was
Yeah.
fucking great. Limited cast, they're doing what they can with what they got. Like I appreciated all of that. And like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It made it fun.
As much as I'm dunking on it, I don't want to feel like I'm gonna give this movie like a negative riz out of like negative 1,000 aura, whatever stupid shit is popular right now. I don't want to dunk on it too hard. I was just let down with how much I really enjoyed Caveat, but it really did feel like you failed the I don't want to even say you failed the test with Caveat, but like you got a really bad grade in English in semester one, and then you took every bit of criticism and then just like did the same thing. Like it didn't feel like there
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
progression in the projects. Like usually when you see a filmmaker and you watch their films in order, it feels like there's
Always a
like a
progression.
growth, and it felt like it almost went back a little with like the things I didn't like in Caveat, like they almost regressed a little, and it was frustrating. But the things that hit, and that
Yeah,
not we're really glazing the fucking visuals of this, and I really want to talk about the scares
yeah.
because
Oh
as
yeah, no,
cheesy
yeah, yeah.
as cheesy as some of the CGI ghost faces were at a time in a
Yeah, yeah,
doorway
yeah, for sure.
specifically, the
Absolutely.
one
Felt the
right
same.
before that in the bedroom with the flashing camera to his girlfriend when she said run, that
Oh, that
got
one
me.
was good. That one was
I
good.
bleh,
The
I
one
got a
with the
chill.
tent, the one with the tent actually got me was because I was like, okay, waiting, because I was like, he does a great thing where he has the camera looking at shadowy like
Yeah,
doorways. And then
yeah.
like that's a through line in all of his movies. He did from his
Mm-hmm.
short films as well. He uses his sets really fucking efficiently. That's what I'm saying. So
Mm-hmm.
he has this like the eye on the fucking doorway and through the like you're looking through the tent into the
Yeah.
doorway. And you're like, okay, something's gonna come out there, and then fucking left field, the motherfucker in the mask comes out. I'm like, shit,
And
got me good.
I liked that scare too, just because when they first showed that face about 10 minutes prior, when they had
Mhm.
that flashback,
Yeah, that was sick.
when
I
she
like that
touched the eye,
when it's all
I
blurry.
I laughed when they showed the white mask the first time. I thought it was goofy as fuck. I was like, that's your man. I felt like the Dr. Phil thing where like the meme where it's like, that's your man. That is the guy. And it's like, that's my man. I'm a stick beside him. Like I was like, is that really the man here? That's the emanating threat. He looks
Yeah,
like he
well,
just got like
okay.
fucking facialed.
I will say though two things. That scene was edited really well. The kill that
Mm-hmm.
like when he kills her in the tent.
I
I
like
like
the
the
cut.
editing of that. That was really fucking clever and like that. And also, as shitty as some of the dialogue gets, some of it was really fucking clever. Some of it was
Yeah.
really goddamn clever. Did you catch the
Calling her
Olin line?
stupid.
No,
No, I
yeah, that
didn't.
was great. Okay, so
Yeah. My
he's
whole theater
asking.
laughed. I'm sorry, but my whole theater laughed when that stupid line got said.
It
All
was
four of
great.
us.
No, it was great. All four of us exactly.
Yeah, no, it
The,
was crazy though. It's
he
yeah.
he's having he's like questioning Olin the fucking the dude, I forgot, the one who kills her actually physically.
Yeah, like the nurse
Orderly,
of
the
the
orderly.
psych
There you
ward, the
go.
orderly.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank
yeah.
you. He the orderly's talking to Olin and he's like, okay, how do you
Oh
spell that?
yeah.
It's like with one eye or two.
He's like one eye. Oh yeah, I'll remember
That's
that.
so fucked up.
It's quippy when it's quippy, but man, does it fall
Yeah.
flat every
Yeah.
other,
Yeah.
for like an hour and a half, it sucks, but those quick little quips every like
Hmm.
45 minutes, it really
Hmm.
hits. And that resonated with me because that's how I feel as a person. Like just so
That's my
bland and
style of
awkward,
comedy.
but when it hits, it hits. It's like if Tim Robinson was Tim Robinson, but not funny. Like if it was still how he
Yeah,
was, but
yeah,
it
yeah.
just didn't work.
That's so funny. But yeah, I liked the even like the subtle use of the score and stuff. Like all of that like really helped, and I
Mm-hmm.
think it helped with you married the visuals really good fucking visuals to that like sense of dread that we were talking about. Like
Yeah.
the whole front end of this movie is loaded with dread, and then it just kind of the flip happens, and then you're just like, God damn it. Like, God
Yeah,
damn it.
there was a big point in the flip when it happened, specifically a specific, I don't even want to say moment, but a choice where the thing that worked so good with that wooden figure was
Mhm.
that it wouldn't move until you looked at it and you noticed it moved. Like when she drops her phone over the balcony and it's looking up at her,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
kind of
That was
clicks in your
great.
head that Marianne is controlling it in her sleep,
Hmm.
quote unquote.
Hmm.
But that's what got me good because I'm always like looking at it. They show it in those background shots and you're waiting
Yeah,
for it to move. And it
exactly.
reminded me of is it When Evil Lurks? That
Hmm.
Spanish movie that came out
Hmm.
last year.
Yep.
That boy at the dinner table that was dug up dead.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what it reminded me of, and
yeah,
that got me good in that movie.
yeah.
And
That movie had a couple of good, really good fucking
when it
scares.
flips though, man, there's that scene where she's lying on the floor, head bashed in, and she puts her hand in the chest and says, "We are connected." And when it
That was,
starts to
yeah, that
move,
was,
it looks
yeah.
so fucking
Hmm.
goofy.
Hmm.
It
I'll
doesn't look
agree.
bad. It's just immediately not scary anymore.
Yeah, that
Do
was the
you
same thing with the CGI faces, like in the hallways. The
Yeah,
same
do
thing
you
with
remember?
the.
I brought this up before as a deep cut reference, but you remember Star Kid, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I
That
was like
suit that he
the
wears?
only one who fucking remembers that
That
movie.
suit, look up Star Kid and look up when he's moving in the
Yeah,
suit.
when he
That's what
eats the
this wooden man looks like.
cheeseburger.
Yeah, that's what it looks like when he moves in the movie. And he's just
It
slowly
totally
pacing. He's like,
does. Yeah,
uh.
it totally fucking does, dude. It does look like Star Kid.
And he
That's
doesn't make a
so
peep.
funny.
It's scary when he's in that
Oh
hallway shot
man.
and it's like caked in shadows and you just see the
Yeah.
silhouette. And then he just starts like fucking robo manning
Yeah,
his way
yeah,
to
bro.
you.
Oh,
And then
man.
he just turns around on his heel like the Tin Man. And I'm like, this is goofy as fuck.
Yeah,
He doesn't
yeah,
even
yeah.
do anything violent. He just like
Yeah.
smooshes the guy's head a little and leaves him
Well, because
alive.
it's implied that he's the thing that like murdered the other. Well, I know it's not actually him, and it's the orderly and the little like story that they're telling, right? Or
Yeah.
like the flashback or whatever. But it's like implied that it's meant to be that creature or a creature, right? Because it's like he hears like the growling and shit, and like the heavy footsteps behind the door. You remember that?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I see what you
Yeah,
mean.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying.
It's like I
But
get it. And
and
I
yeah,
and I
like
took
the
that.
the drawings just like I was like, all right, man, like come
Yeah,
on.
because she admits when she's lying, I don't even think when she's lying there with her head bashed in, but she says towards the end of the movie, like, oh, it's when she's talking to the husband when he's moving the floorboard. She's like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
killed
yeah.
Olin and he was innocent. Like, so she used that wooden man and like they it was just such a it felt so flat when they revealed the monster because they show that scene
Yeah.
of Olin die in
Hmm.
like those
Hmm.
noises and those visceral bear
Hmm.
screeches.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, this is your guy. It's like the bear
That's
scene in
good, yeah.
Annihilation, and it's like all that tension
Yeah.
building, and then he walks in the door.
And
I'm just like, what is this
it's
spirit
just this
Halloween
guy.
ass fucking moment right now?
Yeah, no, yeah. But I will, okay, to go back to the beginning though, that scene, that opening scene is fucking solid. That is absolutely how you open a movie. That
Yes,
shit was phenomenal. It like
yes.
the dude was fucking fantastic. I want to see his name real quick. The guy who played him was named, and I looked this up, Tig Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
Dude was
Olin, you mean?
fucking, yeah,
Yeah,
Olin's
yeah,
character. Fucking phenomenal. Best part of this movie. Absolutely the
yeah.
best
And it
part of
was
this movie.
very underutilized. Like he very much like was my
Yeah.
favorite actor in
Hmm.
it, and it
Hmm.
felt like he just didn't
Him
really
and
do
her and the
anything.
lead. I liked
Yeah,
her a lot too. I liked it because I mean she's showing her chops, two different roles. She's playing twin sisters.
yeah,
It was good. That's what I'm saying. I think the only two people that were like not as strong as everybody else was the husband and the orderly. Those are the only two people, and it was like because when it got into it, I was like, this is kind of goofy with the cartoony like super villain ass reveal.
yeah. It's like World's Dumbest Criminals, like when that guy
Yeah.
duct taped his face to rob the gas station.
Yeah.
Like when he
Yeah.
comes in the fucking locker room at the end of the movie and he's like, who'd you talk to? Who is she? And I'm just like, shut the fuck up. You goofy ass, no riz having bitch.
That's so
You
fucking
couldn't
good.
just say I want a
Literally,
divorce. You had to Tim
literally.
Lambesis your wife like a bitch. Like I hated him so much. He was
Yeah.
because it's like not even like a good reason. He's just like, well, I wanted to
That's
date the hot 20-year-old, so I had to kill my wife.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like the I don't know if it was the performance or the script or if it was a mixture of the two, but like yeah, it definitely those were the
It
only weakest parts of these movies, and it's what the movie kind of hinges on later on. And
Yeah,
I'm like, eh.
something I used to do a lot was really dig into actors and their
Mhm,
acting. And
mhm.
as I've gotten older, I've really realized that you can be a great I've seen amazing actors that I adore in movies where they just suck and
Dog
I'm like,
shit.
what
Yeah,
happened?
yeah.
And it really is like they can only work with the script and the director. And when the
Hmm.
director and the script writing when they're not really channeling a direction for the
Yeah.
actors to act with
Mm,
a script
yeah.
that isn't really good, they can't do much. And I feel like all these actors were really good. They just
Hmm.
didn't have a lot to work with. Not so much digging
It's the
into the
whole
director, but the dialogue. Just it
Yeah,
wasn't
it's the
anything to
whole
really
joke with fucking Black Noir
give.
and the newest boys in the
Oh, I
boys
haven't seen
season. The
it, but I'm
newest,
sure
yeah,
it's
it's like the joke is he's looking for direction. He's like, "Come on, I need something to go off here," like because the exact same reason that he doesn't. The
yeah.
performance suffers if you don't have that.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, but I again, I do like I said, the story might have fallen off towards the end, but I do want to be fair to this movie by saying I did enjoy all of the separate parts in the beginning that like set this up because the threads were fucking fantastic. I didn't
Hmm.
mind the magic direction. I didn't
Yeah,
mind
no.
all of that shit when it was going into it. I was like, all right, cool. Like, fuck it. It's a haunted item thing. Fuck it. Like, okay, wait, it's a serial killer thing. Like, home invasion. Wait, like, it was all of these things that was just hitting, and I was like, okay, it's setting up for something really fucking neat, and then it just
Yeah.
dropped the ball, which that's why I was like, I want to, but I
Yeah.
do want to be fair to it, though, you know.
Yeah, I want to agree. That's pretty much how I felt at the end of it. I don't care for supernatural. Very few things that are very heavily supernatural fall
Hmm.
flat for me. I really like grounded shit, but like things like there's very few like The Wailing, When Evil Lurks.
God, the wailing.
There's a lot of these
I
heavily
just watched
supernatural
the
movies.
wailing again recently, and that shit fuck. It's the first time I've seen it since I watched it like initially. I think it was like 2020
Yeah.
when I first watched it.
Yep.
And like revisiting it like 4 years later, it was just as fucking terrifying, dude. It's
It,
so
it
good.
it's good, but it has that. We're not going to get into this, but I just want to
Yeah,
say it
yeah,
has the same thing that we talked about with Stalker, where there's a lot of homework and a lot of cultural barriers with
yeah,
like where the story's going,
for
and there's
sure.
supernatural elements that like you really got to like
But I mean,
focus and
I
like
can even
that's the only
tie.
thing that kept me from a rewatch is
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I could, but I can even tie that back in. This had, like in the wailing, there was a lot of threads that are opened up. It's like I said, it's a
Hmm.
ghost story, it's a demon movie, it's also a noir film, and like you have all of these elements in this film that, again, dominoes are set up, but that first one just fucking falls the other direction,
I
and it
know.
doesn't. You know what I mean? Like
I know.
it is, but it is really, really well done. That setup, like I said, I really liked the tent being like the lamp that you see in the
Hmm.
entire beginning of the movie. That made it fun because I was like, oh, okay, one single light source. We're already using one location, and it splits it up and it adds another feeling to that again with the lighting. He did a great job of the lighting on this movie, like we talked about.
Yeah.
But in particular, that fucking scene when you're seeing Olin like head on in the beginning, that
Hmm.
is fantastic. It is phenomenally lit, and it is like definitely the moodiest and scariest part.
It very much felt like that was the reason they really just gave you that in the trailer, because if they gave me anything else I don't think I would have been that interested. It's like
Mhm.
when a band releases an LP and they drop just girthiest single and then you get to the album and you're like, what the fuck is this? This is a 50-minute project and only 4 minutes of it rips. And
It
like
blew your
I
load in the
like this.
first 5 minutes,
I'm
huh?
really dogging on this movie. I did enjoy it. I want to stress that, but it did.
Yeah.
It felt just kind of flat at the last 20-minute tail end.
Hmm.
And
I will
but
say though,
I,
comparatively, like between this and Long Legs, I kind of enjoyed, Long Legs a little bit more.
yeah, It,
you
it
know.
it very much they very much are like brother and sister films,
Mm-hmm.
and them
Mm-hmm.
coming out like a week apart is very funny to me.
It
They,
is.
they feel very one to one. Long Legs showed supernatural elements, but it was a crime thriller, and this was a supernatural movie that tried to implement crime thriller elements.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then
Yep.
it I did like that. I did like Long Legs more, but this was very entertaining. This just very
Yeah.
much felt like a movie that would I would see on streaming. It felt like a streaming movie,
Mm.
like a straight to DVD you
Like I said,
see
a
on
dinner
like a
movie. It's a dinner movie.
Fangoria Fest movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
100%.
a IFC Midnight, not an IFC movie.
Yeah.
So
This
like we
is
were
a
saying
week.
within a
This
violent
is.
nature.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, exactly. Like this is a
Mhm.
weeknight horror movie. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
This
this
is
is
like
just
I
what.
want to watch a movie, but I'm exhausted. I don't have time to like put into the holy mountain right
Uh huh.
now. So I'm
Uh
just gonna
huh.
throw on just like canned soup in movie form.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's the Campbell's of
Yeah.
horror.
Soup.
I just
Yeah.
want nutrition, but I just don't want to work for it.
It's the apples of horror. God damn it.
It's not the Andy Warhol, but it's
Oh
certainly
man.
the fucking discounted dented
No,
can of
but
Campbell's.
but okay. Also, though, I will say I appreciate Shudder's like original programming. All of their shit that
Yes.
they've been coming out with, they really do have a like. It's funny because we talk about A24 vibes in a
Yeah.
movie. We talk about the vibes of this, and I really think that just harks back to like what you were talking about, how you could tell it has like Netflix has a signature style, Hallmark, Lifetime, all these movies have a signature style, but I think Shudder's style is really beginning to shine through their creators because they're doing a
Hmm.
lot of things that are like there's a lot of parallels coming out, like but they really are what they are doing, they're doing well, I will say,
Yeah.
in their programming, and they
Do
really
you
do give their
know
creators a lot of freedom.
they're big if you're into movies, like they're well known, but they're not like a household name. You know, Magnet Films?
Mm-mm.
They made like God Bless America from 2011
Oh, funny.
and like a bunch of good movies. If you look up Magnet,
Oh
you
yeah,
you
yeah,
would
yeah,
love
yeah, for
it's
sure.
like
The
the big
production
red
company, yeah, for
circle.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Belko
yeah.
experiment, I
I
think, and
do
stuff
like
like
their
that.
movies. I do
That
like their movies.
vibe,
Yeah.
it feels like Shutter Magnet and like Well Go USA, I
That's
think,
so
are like the
funny. I never
closest
considered that, but you're totally right.
that I would compare.
Yeah,
It's
horror,
like
action,
that color
comedy,
out of
Asian
space
cinema.
feeling of like
Yeah.
indie, but like it's like a big production company gave an indie company a like a handful of money.
Oh, did
You
they
know, it's like
do Alone? That's a trip. That's so funny. Yeah, so I've seen a lot of these on the
yeah,
roster.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're like
Trip
everyone
out.
knows the movies, but no one knows the name
The
behind it.
name,
And I
yeah,
think it's
that's funny.
disappointing because I've always loved Magnet.
The Eyes
They're
of
like
My Mother. That's
oscilloscope.
right. I think that we've even talked about doing an episode on The Eyes of My Mother.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Okay, and
yeah,
then the
oscilloscope
last
is
ship, yeah.
another comparison that's really good too. But yeah,
Yeah,
no, it's
no,
just
yeah.
Shutter's really they've always been a big name for the last like decade, but like they're
Mhm.
really finding it feels like a direction, a like solid identity in their like films that they pick, and I like it a
Yeah,
lot, and I agree.
yeah. Because you get like in these ones I've noticing with like I think Watcher was also an original one. The other
Possibly, I haven't seen that
Micah
yet. I really
Monroe
want to
one.
see it. Yeah,
Oh, it's
I
good.
know.
That okay, that's the thing. That was in the kind of first, not I don't want to say first batch because that one only came out like last year or 2 years ago, right?
Like not like recent. Yeah,
Very recently, but I want to say it was in the first batch of like movies that they were putting out like for their original programming that I was like, oh, I'm fucking all in on anything
yeah.
Shutter has to
It
say, like
it gave like
anything.
Rear Window meets like It
Yeah,
Follows.
yeah,
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 and the
and it's
70th.
exactly that.
I only thought of that because the 70th anniversary of Rear Window is coming up, and they're showing
Oh
it in theaters.
wow.
So I saw the trailer for that, and I was like, oh yeah,
I
I
remember
need to
watching
see
that
that.
when I was in like high school.
Yeah,
That's fucking crazy.
yeah.
But
No, but
yeah,
yeah,
no, like
no.
they
Shutter
do.
rips.
Yeah, they do. They're doing a great job of like the art house style, like you're saying. Like we keep bringing up. I keep calling these movies fancy popcorn. That's really what
Yeah,
these are. Like the
it's the
artisanal
like
bakes.
it's the roasted almonds.
It's
It's the honey roasted
the
nuts that you
Trader
get at the
Joe's.
zoo. Yeah, it's the artisanal white chocolate drizzled fucking caramel corn that you spend $30 on
Yeah,
because it has a fancy image on the paper bag.
yeah, and I mean, again, we've talked about it before. I don't necessarily mind that either.
No, no, yeah.
I don't, you know, like this, yesterday, I just wasn't feeling great. And I was like, I just need to go watch a movie. And then you had brought
Hmm.
up, like, you want to do a quickie on this movie. I was like, and it's playing right now. Fuck yeah. I want to just go
Yeah,
watch a movie. So, like, it was just one of those things where, like, I just needed to get out of my head for a little bit, have a good little time. And that's really what this applied for me. It really
yeah,
wasn't like, it's not that deep, like I
yeah.
always say, but this really, I will fully fucking admit, is style over substance
Yeah,
for
that
sure.
I think I said for Visitor Q that Visitor Q felt like the leg day of movies.
Yeah.
I think that was the one where I said that, where it's just like, God, I know I gotta get it done. It's Tuesday, like that's the day where I do legs, but I'm not looking forward to it. This movie feels like the cardio that you do before your workout, your
Yeah.
30-minute, like 2.5 miles,
So
and you're
good.
like, the first 10 minutes really, dude, this is just rough, and then you hit that runner's high and you just zone
Mm.
out and you're
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
blank
yeah.
spacing
Yeah.
with your eyes closed, and that's what this felt like. It was just a good runner's high. You're just like
Hmm.
not where you are mentally, you're just zoning out and you're just enjoying good jump scares.
I will say though, it does make me curious. I do want to see what he does next. I
Yeah.
really like.
Oh,
He
I
is
love the
someone
guy.
I'm. Yeah, absolutely. Like
Yeah.
from the style of Caveat and like the style of this. Like I said, it made me now a fan of his. Like even if those movies didn't like fully stick the landing, or if he wasn't really fully fleshing out ideas that should have been fleshed out, I think he's got a lot of potential to do some really cool shit. And even
Yeah.
if it does become like Mike Flanagan, he gets praised for the style that he has and that he brings to the movies and stuff. But he does have a uh I will say an edge of cheese about his
It's
things.
cheese
You know what
that
I
I
mean?
feel for Flanagan though works because for me at least, what
Oh no,
I
yeah, yeah,
see
yeah.
the most about him is his writing, and that's what really hooked me was for
Hmm.
like Haunting of Hill House when it dropped. That
Yeah.
it's the style, but it's kind of flipped for this director, where for Flanagan, it's the writing that I love in each
Hmm.
season that he drops or each project, and then like the visuals are nice addition. This movie feels like great visuals with just you got to tweak the script. And
Yeah, that's what I
I've
was saying.
really
I think
been
it's like
dunking on the
anti.
man. I do love you if you're listening to this.
No,
I
I mean
doubt you
it's
are, but
like yeah,
I
it's like
really love
Flanagan
your
in the
work.
it's like Flanagan in the opposite direction. I get
Yeah.
what you're saying, and that's not a bad thing either. Again, we've talked
No.
about like that's what I loved about Longlegs was that it didn't clearly didn't work for Skeptic, but I mean obviously you and I felt differently about the movie, and like
Yeah.
and again at the end of the day, I don't need the movie to fucking have some big old like reveal at the end that's gonna be like mind blowing or whatever. It just needs to get the job done, and it got the job done. It was perfectly fine. It was a perfectly fine movie, you know.
Yeah.
But
K-
I did like the puppet and all that shit, like all of the little fucking
Yeah, the
effects and everything were
trinkets,
yeah,
which
the
which
drinks
is
were
funny.
fucking great, dude.
I like that a lot of his movies, this one specifically, with her character being an oddity shop owner,
Hmm.
like we were saying, like the trinkets and these little oddities in each of his films are really the thing that you stick with, like that rabbit and Caveat and the Woodman in this. These movies feel like my best way to associate how what I like about these movies. His style of movie feels like a knickknack that I have a close attachment with. They feel
That's
like
fair.
knickknacks where it's a
That's fair.
nice thing to put on your dresser while you're doing work on your laptop, and then occasionally you look over at it and you're like, that's cool, and then you
Yeah,
go back
yeah,
to
yeah,
your
yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. Yeah, I can absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
But again, I don't need to learn anything from my movies ultimately all the
One more
time.
thing I want to mention real quick. The gore in this was very minimal, but when it hit, it hit. When we got that
Oh
first big gory
yeah,
scene where his head is
the
just
head on the
potato
fucking
mashed
yeah,
into the
just on the
floor.
floor. Yeah,
You
shit was crazy. Yeah, yeah,
know
yeah, for
that
sure.
goo that you would eat out of a tube that was candy? That was like that. It was so
Oh,
goopy.
the like clear one, the like
No, like
sour.
not the spray, but like there was
No, no,
like a
no. Yeah,
million of them.
it was a
It was
tube
in like a
though. It was like,
toothpaste.
but it was like a
Yeah,
gelatin like
yeah.
type of thing. Yeah, no, I totally remember that. Oh
It's
wow.
like the protein bars in Snowpiercer. You're 8 years old just sucking on goo, and you're like, I don't care. It has citric acid in it. Let's go. And like that's what the gore was. It's so goopy and wet when it is there, but
Yeah.
then there's like almost none. Like you said with that tent scene, a
Hmm.
lot of the violence in this is just a quick cut,
Yeah,
and then
it
you
just
just see the
happens.
blood splatter across the yellow.
Mhm.
And then when we see that big gore reveal halfway through
That
the
was
movie in
fucking
that
great.
patient's room, in Olin's room, and his head just
Yeah.
looks like it went blammo. Like
Yeah.
his head looked like JFK when JFK's head just did that.
Just did that.
It just did that thing when his wife was yapping too much in his ear, and it just decided to do that. Cut that part out. Just do a big blur right there.
I'm not cutting shit.
No, no, I'm wearing a Shania Twain shirt. I can't be sexist at the same time. We got to say, let's go, girls.
Oh my god. All right, well, with all that said, I think horns up, horns down. What do you feel about this one?
Horns at like a 72-degree angle.
Yeah, for sure. It's a
They're not
horn.
up. They're like, oh yeah, we got video now. They're like here.
Yeah.
They should be here. They should be here. They're like here.
They are erect.
They're
but
they
are
we got
not
like a 40% chub going.
We're at half mast.
Yeah. We're not at full sail, but we can shove it in with our thumb.
Yeah.
Just ball it up and give it the whole shrimpy.
God damn it.
I'm sweaty. I hate that we record video now.
So yeah, I mean, in the same vein, mine is very much a limp horns up. You know what I mean? I can't really give fully all the way, but I did enjoy the ride. That's what I was saying. So I will tell people, go watch the movie. That's how the director gets other projects made. You know what I mean? You got to go watch these movies. So it's good that this shit exists. I really do think that. And I really can't wait to see what the fuck else he does. It's going to be
I don't want to watch this again, but I really want to watch the next thing he makes. That's how I feel about this one.
Yeah. That's a very again, like very complicated way of feeling about it, but it's an accurate one.
I got a music reference, Joey, since we both love hardcore. You know what this movie felt like?
What is that?
It felt like stage diving. So when you get on, when you put your hands and you push yourself up on the stage, and you're like, fuck, I'm on the stage.
I am too thick to know what you're talking about.
Okay, you've seen it though, and you get hyped as fuck when you see it. So stage diving feels like this movie, where caveat is like pushing yourself up and then getting on the stage. You're like, fuck, I'm on the stage. Oh shit, I gotta commit now, because you like part of you is always like, I don't want to do this, and then you're just like, well, I'm gonna look like a bitch if I don't. So then caveat felt like getting on that stage and you're like hyping yourself up in the corner. And then this movie felt like planting your foot on the fucking speaker right before you launch off, and then the excitement for his next project feels like hitting the crowd and they're just punching me in the face while I'm midair. So go see the movie.
Go see the movie.
This movie felt like a kielbasa. That's what it felt like. Okay, hold on. I can explain this.
Fucking threads.
You know how we do horns up or horns down? You know how kielbasas are kind of shaped like this? It felt like if you stuck half a kielbasa here, where it's like pointing up, but it's like
it's kind of dangly.
Yeah.
God damn.
This man puts a carrot on a stick and he puts it on my head, and that's what his movies feel like. I'm just waiting for the amazing part, because I know he's capable of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Yeah. He's not getting C's, but he's getting solid B pluses, and I'm like, I know you're better than this, son. You can do so much more. You're so full of potential, but you're hanging out with them damn hooligans that smoke the marijuana and listen to rap music.
Absolutely. Fucking hell.
I want to end on the note that I love that we matched today.
God. How did we match?
So you have a shirt that says "No Country for Old Men," and I have a Shania Twain shirt on.
I thought you said Shania Twain.
I fucked it up. I thought I accidentally said Shania Taint, and I got really scared.
That's a good one too.
It wasn't on purpose, but Shania Twink works because I did buy it at the women's section of Target. Dude, Target men's clothes suck. You got to go to the women's section and just get a size larger.
Austin, we need to let the people go.
This is our shortest episode yet. They can sit here and suffer. Fucking like 40 minutes long.
Oh my god.
Compared to 4.5 hours.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, Well, yeah, you guys go check it out. Like we said, Damian, he's doing a good job out there, man. He's doing what he wants to do. You know, may not stick to light. You know what it reminded me of? I meant to bring up Stephen King novel.
Just in general?
In general. Just in general.
It was like Stephen King novel.
No, it just reminded me of a Stephen King novel. That's really what this reminded me of.
That's actually fair. Like Salem's Lot, actually.
Yeah. So if you're a fan of Stephen King novels, go and check this movie out. But don't
if you
say
like
we
edging,
didn't warn you.
if you like blue balls, if you think blue balls are a real thing and you're a bitch. They're not, but yeah, no, go watch the movie and go follow him on YouTube. He only has like 3,000 followers, I think, and he has like 36,000 views roughly on like a lot of his videos, and he makes a lot of good shorts from like a long time ago. They're genuinely creepy, including that really Olin's Eyes video.
I really like that
social media. Fucking
speaking of YouTube, shit. Go follow us on YouTube, the Devil's Work Podcast. We are also on Facebook at the Devil's Work Podcast. We are on Instagram at the Devil's Work Pod, I believe.
Yes.
Thank you.
And since we're on YouTube now, we have to outro and intro like we're YouTubers. So we got to be like, what's up, Devil's Work Podcast fans? Make sure you smash that fucking like button because it's 2013 and I'm trying to be PewDiePie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was cringe. Cut that out. But no, smash that MF and like button like it's 2016. Who up? Finish
it now, fucker. No, now you need to finish it. You finish what you started.
Who up working they pod like the devil.
Absolutely. All right.
She working on my pod till I devil emoji.
We will see you guys next time. Thank you for coming and joining us on this quickie. We will have another full length for you out next week. I think next week we got The Tribe, which is, oh boy, I love that episode.
I love Your Enthusiasm music is what that movie is.
Fuck you.
And I picked it, so that's the worst part.
Exactly, fucker. It's your fault. All right, you guys, check it out. We'll see you guys next time. Go and subscribe to YouTube, comment, all that bullshit. Late.